Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Let's Really Talk About It live on Hawk Radio. I'm your host, Lo. Let's really talk about it. I actually have some special guests here from the other radio show before mine, and I want to give them a welcome to the show. Definitely state your name. You know, we want to get the people to know who you guys are, what you guys have been doing for the past few months, ever since you guys have done your radio show, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Boss man.
Oh, man. Well, hold on. He's not listening, so we don't need to do that bit. But yeah, thank you for the introduction. We are the Weekly Roundup. Dustin right here is talking to you. I'm host of Drama Digest, or some people call it Diddy Digest. The real fans do.
Depending on what week we're talking news on. I'm Vince Vibes. I do Football Focus, and I'm also the board guy for Weekly Roundup, right where Ray is.
That's true. You're the audio technician, you might say.
Audio technician, which I'll be an audio technician for the school in a couple of weeks once I get in on the federal work.
Shout out HCC.
Shout out HCC.
HCC. Wouldn't be it without you.
You know, who are you, Anthony?
Oh, I'm Anthony. Hello. I run the Showbiz Spotlight segment. I also run the YouTube channel, and I'm also the laugh track sometimes.
That's true. That's true.
It is the laugh track sometimes, and without Anthony, our shows would not be on YouTube, would not be recorded. So
and they just wouldn't be as good.
No, they would not be as good. He is a driving factor in the behind the scenes of the Weekly Roundup.
Not only the behind the scenes, but oftentimes in front of the camera when we do our Weekly Roundup film productions.
Yeah. So that's kind of who we are, Ray. Thank you for having us on your show. Let's talk about it. We've kind of talked about having a crossover episode one day, and what a great way to end out the semester with this episode.
Worlds are colliding.
Worlds are colliding.
I felt like I wanted to put like a Big Bang surprise attack for the audience. You know, they didn't even know that this was going to be my...
We didn't even know.
I mean, you know, I didn't... I'll admit...
Where am I?
I'll admit, I didn't tell anybody about this final episode because I knew it was hurting me inside so much to the point that I didn't know how to feel about it, you know? And I've always had the question whether if I'm even able to, you know, continue doing what I do. I already know now that in order for me to continue, I'm going to have to make the purchases at home, be able to set it up at my own home, you know, see from there. But I know it's going to take, you know, it's not going to take days, but it's going to take months for me to get the job done, which, you know, hopefully if I can be able to bring back Let's Really Talk About It live, it'll might as well just be uploaded through Spotify and all these other platforms from here on out.
Is this your final semester?
Ironically, this is my final semester as I already graduated.
Man is already graduated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's outie.
Okay.
Yeah. And luckily, I mean, I already got accepted to UCF for I can continue to get my bachelor's in mass communications. You know,
Orlando's a nice area out there. I've heard a lot of good things about UCF. That's a college I've been looking at to continue my bachelor's.
Definitely, you know, and I feel like with UCF, the reason I chose to go to UCF was mainly because I felt confident with myself that I feel like just like HCC's environment, I will get that same feeling when I go to UCF. And on top of that, hopefully, like once they finish building their whatever they're trying to build out of the radio broadcasting or news broadcasting, you know, I can be able to continue that, go hands-on, and instead of going for a BA, I'm going for a BS instead. Which, for those who do not know that are listening in live, is going to be a bachelor's in science, of course.
I'm also getting a BS degree.
No, really?
They stand for other letters, though.
No, definitely. Now, I did want to get in discussion with the Weekly Roundup, of course, because, you know, as we already know, since you guys have been uploading your videos on YouTube and you guys have been here consecutively every Thursday.
Mine is Steven right now.
Actually, Dustin's the only one with perfect attendance.
Yeah.
Well, that's usually true.
Actually, didn't Dustin miss an episode in our first season?
No.
That's
there's never been an episode without me because
it really hasn't.
No.
Because the episode I was gone, you took the chair, and then the episode Steven, you've never missed an
MIA
episode
once, except for this guy. Perfect attendance.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
Anthony, you've had perfect attendance.
No, we've had an Anthony-less episode before.
Yeah, I went to my sister graduated from the Army.
That was never on the YouTube because he was never here to film.
Never here.
That's lost media.
That's lost media right there.
Ooh, well, it definitely was probably our worst one.
I don't even remember what we talked about on the episode. I didn't even remember there was an episode where he was gone. So
it's not worth remembering.
It's not worth remembering.
It was before the Super Bowl. You made your parlay bets.
Oh.
Okay, now that's actually interesting.
That takes me back.
That makes sense. That was before I shaved my head.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my question for you guys. Now, is the Weekly Roundup going to be continuing from here on out during the summer, the fall, and then, as you guys are getting ready to graduate down the road?
Absolutely.
So, no, take it away.
Yeah, so we're coming back for the summer semester, so we're maybe taking about a 2-week hiatus, I think. Then we're also returning in the fall as well. So we've got radio shows lined up for quite a while to come. We're also expanding into other media. So Anthony earlier mentioned our YouTube channel at the Weekly Roundup _1.
The Weekly Roundup was taken.
Has like 18 episodes.
21
episodes.
21
I would say soon the entirety of both seasons will be uploaded
There's
on there.
3 more episodes to have.
3 more.
And you can actually you can see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to our soothing voices. So it's twice as good. Now, one other thing I do want to mention that's going to be premiering on that YouTube channel soon is the premiere of Good Enough, a Weekly Roundup movie.
Yes.
Produced and directed by Vince Vibes and I, and starring all 3 of us. Anthony as well was kind of the star of the show.
Yes, a good friend of mine did a lot of the camera work for the movie.
This is true.
And it's on my personal YouTube right now. It's called Good Enough. What did I call it?
I don't know, but I know what mine is. Mine is Good Enough, a Weekly Roundup movie on my personal YouTube channel.
I think
Bandit
it's called
Media.
Good Enough, the movie. On Vince Vibes, but
I branded it a little bit.
You did brand it a little bit. We didn't know we were going into this venture of different audio, different forms when I published it.
Okay, no, that's the thing. It just kind of appeared, right? We had a little trouble on set here and there. We thought we weren't going to make a good movie, but at the end of the day, I think we made a pretty good movie. So I think that people are going to want to see more.
It was funny, and I think I'm excited to maybe do some more stuff. The Weekly Roundup, I at least continue to do it with these guys until the wheels fall off. So, hopefully we continue it past the fall, from the spring, where we're all graduating. Because I think we all graduate around the same time. I think he graduates a semester before us, Anthony does. But I think me and Dustin are scheduled for fall of 2026.
Yeah, I got summer, fall.
That's a whole year.
Yeah.
You said next semester.
No,
that's a whole year.
No.
I graduated 2 semesters.
Okay.
Oh,
so you're spring. I'm summer. He's fall.
Well, I'm fall of 2025.
Oh.
Wait, that's this fall.
That's
this
coming
fall.
semester. That's not 2 semesters.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the summer semester.
Okay, so
that makes sense. Well, here's the deal, right? If he graduates, early on us or whatever, and doesn't just start taking 3 credits a semester and just stick around like a team player, I can definitely see a scenario where this becomes a podcast, kind of just based online, without us having to come in here into the radio studio.
Kind of like how you're doing with Let's Talk About It going forward. Maybe hitting it on Spotify. We're thinking about maybe doing the same thing.
One other thing I'd like to plug too before I forget is we talked about we're expanding into other business ventures. We're also filming events. We got an event coming up that we're going to be covering for a local business here.
Yeah, we
are. We're doing that one, and hopefully, we'll be able to get some jobs out of that, and really turn this into a media empire.
So that's kind of our plan here, to kind of, work with each other to kind of build something great in the Tampa area, of kind of this amalgamation of multimedia, film, audio, and
Weekly Roundup LLC.
Yeah, Weekly Roundup LLC. So it's much more than just a show now. It's kind of transformed
into
a
brand. It's a lifestyle, I like to say.
We
could be a lifestyle brand. We could make hoodies.
You never know.
Well, speaking of stuff that down the road in 2026, I do want to mention to the audience that In-N-Out Burgers could be just one state away from Florida by 2026.
Let's go!
With plans of expanding to the East Coast, could we be closer to a Florida location? So this is where the information goes in. Florida still isn't getting its first In-N-Out, but they're finally expanding to Tennessee, just one state away. The East Coast is finally getting a taste in 2026, and it's only a 10-hour drive from the state of Florida.
Boy trip to Tennessee.
Does this mean hope for a Florida location soon? And this was brought by Real Brandon LLC. Shout out to them, of course, because I do actually know the owner of Real Brandon LLC.
Ah, nice. Very cool, very cool.
So, what do you guys think about that?
I'm really excited.
I've never had In-N-Out.
I've never had In-N-Out either, but I've always just been a little bit away from In-N-Out. When I was a Jit, I lived in Oregon, right? They didn't have any In-N-Outs. I moved to New Mexico. They opened an In-N-Out in Oregon. I moved to Florida. They opened an In-N-Out in New Mexico. So it's kind of trailing me.
Dustin, we need you to get out of Florida as soon as possible because you seem to leave In-N-Outs in your wake.
They're like my footprints.
That's the next movie. The Weekly Roundup tours all of the In-N-Outs.
Oh my.
That's going to be a lot of money.
I thought I was pork chop before.
All right. Now we're going to be pork chop, rib, and
McRib. Who's going to be
pork
McRib?
butt.
That's gonna be a long search. I will say that. And then there is one more thing that I want to mention to the audience. Of course, a lot of people are highly aware when it comes to the sneaker game. Sneaker game has been going drastic lately. Now this is one of those times where, if we should be honest, sneakers are now about to become expensive due to the tariffs.
Yeah.
A few episodes ago, I've always talked about how tariffs have become an issue. Now, this is where you're about to get the resource now, because this is actually from an Instagram called Wrap. The footwear distributor.
Shout out Rap.
The footwear distributors and retailers of America sent a letter to the White House this week asking for an exemption from Trump's tariffs, warning they could seriously harm the footwear industry. The letter, signed by 76 brands including Nike, Adidas, Skechers, and Under Armour, said the tariffs are an existential threat to businesses and families and could soon lead to inventory shortages. In total, U.S. footwear companies will face tariffs ranging from between 150% and about 220%. That's what the trade group said. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, we've kind of talked about tariffs on our show, but kind of more in the showbiz area. Trump also put 100% tariffs on all foreign movies just in the past couple weeks. And I think that unfortunately, with these tariffs, we are going to see a dramatic change in life for us for a long time. Until either these tariffs change or Trump's plan of having America build more businesses here works. But logistically, I don't see that working out in a way that is beneficial to the American consumer.
Well, India reached out and they want to do 0% for 0% tariffs, so they could just start making Nikes in India instead of in China.
That's also true. There could be a place where if tariffs are enforced in a specific area where all these companies kind of start building their new factories and stuff.
I'm going to admit this, because if, let's say, for example, Nike goes out of their way to do in India, I feel like that can lead to a lot of levels of controversy, not to the company itself, but to the consumers. Because consumers, when it comes to their shoes, they like their shoes to be on point. They like their shoes to look unique as possible. It was already a disaster with one of the releases. If you haven't remember the black toe Jordan 1 breads that came out literally on February? That was a disaster because all it said was Air Jordan on it. A lot of people didn't even care about the fact that it was from back in the 90s at all. They care about the fact that they want the wings in there, but there was no wings whatsoever. Instead, you just see the letters Air Jordan on it. That's it. Last thing I want to mention before we do go on break, GTA 6 release has been delayed until May 2026.
We talked about this on our show today. We talked about the trailer and everything that's going down in GTA 6.
There's got real bubbles in the beer. It's crazy.
From the game guru himself, who is not here. He's doing his laundry somewhere.
He's doing laundry. He's washing his shirts.
But shout out to the game guru and shout out to GTA 6. my birthday's today, so I make the joke that next year I'm gonna be having Avengers Doomsday and GTA 6 all in the month of May. So they're really celebrating me next year.
Hey, and happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Alrighty, guys. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a minute. We're gonna take a few minute break. Basically, for my audience, we all know how this is gonna go. Instead, because for the final episode, I want to go all out, brand new. So I'm gonna do a new song. I haven't played this song in a minute, so we're gonna play "Mind" by Diplo, Skrillex, and Kai. Welcome everybody back to Let's Really Talk About It live on Hawk Radio. I'm your host, Lo. Let's really talk about it. Now, let's really get into discussion more with about your radio show, actually.
Thank you, my man. Well, Anthony has stepped out to take a call, so now it's just me and Dustin, 2 of the 4 Weekly Roundup members. And man, we're pretty much in a good spot. We've got a good foundation of our show. It's pretty much 4 segments that we run through every week, giving you the latest and greatest news in our opinion. And it consists of Football Focus, Game Guru, Drama Digest, and Showbiz Spotlight. And we all focus in on our segments and bring us the best news. We strive for what we call news for the unemployed.
Yeah, I do think that we cater to the unemployed quite a bit. It's all Switch 2 and Costco guys. Like,
yeah, it's very much, news that you would talk about huddled up at a bar together.
Well, that's how we come up with our segments.
That is pretty much how we come up with our segments, and that's how we want the show to feel like. We want you to feel like you're just walking in on a great conversation, a funny conversation, a conversation that you can relate to, that you're a part of. One of the boys, one of the guys is listening to the Weekly Roundup. That's what we kind of strive for, at least for the radio show.
I've always felt that the number one job of radio or podcasting, sure, you can inform people, you can entertain people, but really people are putting these things on a lot of the time when they're by themselves, and they don't want to feel like they're by themselves. It's like background noise on the TV. So that's what I always strive to bring in radio and just audio broadcasting, is that feeling that you're just in a conversation. You're a passive person in a conversation. You don't get to obviously interject, but we're all talking and kind of laugh along,
Yeah, and we kind of tried in the first semester to do something where y'all could connect to us, and we had a question of the week segment. But with the hour constraint that we're on, and that you're on too, with being on Hawk Radio, .primostream, no.com.
No.com. So take that .com, slap somebody with a fish with it, and throw it in the garbage.
Thank you, Steven. That was Steven's beautiful joke about slapping things with fishes. We really love the Game Guru on the Weekly Roundup. He's a
couldn't do it without him.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without him. It's unfortunate that he's not here.
But not surprising.
Not surprising though. He's a very busy man.
He has laundry to do. It's a big day.
Yeah. Hey, I get it. You guys, even after when you guys complete your radio show, you guys have your priorities, and that's something I can fully understand that for sure.
Yeah.
Here's my question to you guys. Now, do you guys think that you guys want to open the horizon? What I mean by that is basically not only do you guys get to do it here, but do you guys plan on, let's say for an example, you want to create something a lot big. So instead of just in school, let's say you want to be able to purchase a specific building, and in that building you can be able to have a similar setup to this.
Well,
but
now I don't. No, go ahead. Actually,
I was gonna say I think that dreams can start from anywhere. I think that we strive to continue doing the Weekly Roundup together. Like I said, to the wheels fall off, we're gonna continue being a crew, continue working not only in the radio but in other multimedia facets. And I think we're gonna continue that. And if we get to the point where we are successful, where we are running different things for businesses, different production things, and we could see a building in 5 to 10 years. But really, I think the goal is not so much to have a set in stone place, but to be the Weekly Roundup LLC is able to travel and transform any location or any place that they go to into a Weekly Roundup set.
Very well said. I think that the way that this business is going, the physical studio is going to be used less and less. I mean, if we spent like a couple $1,000s, we could have, probably even a little bit of a nicer setup, in one of our houses. And, as for the podcasting, we can easily do that. We could do that in a studio, but we can also do it, entirely over the internet too.
Yeah. So the world is our oyster in terms of what we want to do. And I think that, like I said, we're going to focus in on the different multimedia facets, continue our radio show. And if we do get successful, maybe have a place in the future.
Now, we have been in discussions briefly about pitching this show to different stations.
Yeah, we have been in talks. If you do know, and listeners of Let's Talk About It know that HCC offers an internship where you can go to WMNF. So we've maybe also been talking about bringing it over there or other different radio stations that could be interested in maybe a full length show of us on their radio show.
Okay. And what were the results so far when you guys have brought this offers to the table?
Well, they're more internal talks at this point. We haven't really talked to any reps from these different outlets as of yet. I think I can. Sorry about that.
No,
I think I can
good.
speak for all of us here when I say we probably want to do at least another season and tighten the show up a little bit before we show it to any executives.
We're in the process of honing in our craft and honing in what we can bring to the table exactly. And it looks like Anthony's running back in.
He's
Look
running.
at that. He's running.
No, that's the ghost of Kevin Spacey.
Oh, another joke on our show on the ghost of Kevin
he's here.
Spacey. Oh, my goodness.
I agree 100%. Whoever does this is an idiot.
Yeah, yeah. The ghost of Kevin Spacey.
He's spoken.
Oh, he's here.
He's here.
Grow up.
He haunts the radio station, Lo, if you don't
Grow
know.
up, it's crazy.
And,
man.
What? But what we were talking about, Anthony, before you came in, is that the Weekly Roundup continues to strive for different multimedia facets and goals, but we also are striving to hone in our craft on the radio show, and that even after HCC, we still want to continue the show and still continue working with each other as business partners and co-hosts.
Can't get you off the board no matter what we do.
I know, right? Well, y'all can be on.
It's almost like we talked about it and then every day decided to come in and say, I don't really feel like doing it.
We did that once, and he's just like, well, guys, I got a good episode today. We can't take it off. We can't take it away from him. Final episode's his birthday. He's like, we got to let him have his moment.
So I did it, and I was like, click, click, click.
Yeah.
Hold on. How do I get the music?
Ever noticed in a Weekly Roundup episode, I'm either in the in the chair, or I'm in the chair right next to it. I've never sat in the two chairs opposite from the board.
So I've sat over there once or twice.
Never. I've always been right here because if someone else is on the board, I'm constantly like, look, okay, you actually got to do this. You actually got to do that. Hey, you didn't click this. You didn't turn this up enough. I'm very.
We run the board until he gets his grimy little fingers.
Yeah,
in there.
exactly. I'm like, well, actually, you're doing this and this wrong, and I kind of do love and enjoy running the audio part of the radio station here and running the board. So that's why I'm getting hired for it.
That's true.
So check this, guys, because I know for some of us it may be interesting. Some of us, maybe we may not have been a fan of these things. But if you guys don't know, there was a report from the Duggett Report, and it says the Orlando Dreamers, a group looking to bring an MLB, Major League Baseball. My bad, ladies and
Just
gentlemen.
talking about this at the bar last night.
They're bringing the franchise to Orlando. Of course, they say that they've secured massive funding and investments. So check this. The group, led by Hall of Famer Barry Larkin, says they've got $1.5 billion in commitments. That number is significant because it's more than the total Forbes valuation of the Rays, which is $1.25 billion, as well as the Marlins, which is $1.5 billion, and
No one
even
goes
that,
to a Marlins game.
and even that of 5 other MLB teams. The group isn't necessarily waiting for a potential expansion franchise, but would also look to lure an existing relocating team. Now, not only that, but I happened to notice as well that they were looking to bring the WWE for WrestleMania to Orlando.
Yeah.
And that's been
That's a good move.
And that's been a pop move lately, because if they have WrestleMania in Orlando, it's going to create a lot of attention.
They did that in WrestleMania 33. That was at the Tropicana, right?
I think that was in
Or-
Tampa.
Yeah, I think that was at the Tropicana. There was a WrestleMania few years back before that was at Orlando. That was a pretty big. I can't remember exactly which one. I think it may have been when Undertaker retired Shawn Michaels. That was the last time WWE was in Orlando for WrestleMania. It's Sweet Chin Music, baby. Come on, you gotta know the fake fan. Super Kick for the normies that use it.
Okay.
But you know, there'll only be a Sweet Chin Music. You know what I mean? We gotta round up the band. You know.
Played one
Go ahead.
WWE game.
Play one WWE.
That's all I know. That's my.
No, but it should be interesting to see if they go back into Orlando. They love Florida. They were here for WrestleMania 33, 36, and 37 in Tampa. 36 was supposed to be in Tampa before COVID happened and went all into their performance center in Orlando. And then for WrestleMania 37, it was still I actually went to WrestleMania 37 night 1 and 2 and at the Raymond James, and there was still like COVID rules. People had masks on, and within every group of people there was like cardboard cutouts within each group of people. So there's like 5-6 cardboard cutouts, the group of people, and then more cardboard cutouts. So it wasn't even full capacity. And at the end of the night, me and my good friend Julian, we stole the cardboard cutouts, and we grabbed like 8 of them and walked out and started handing them out to people. And I still have 2 cardboard cutouts of the same guy that we found in different sections that I have at my house today for WrestleMania 37. So that's a little history there. Okay. A little memento that I have from the show.
Wow.
Well, you learn something new every day. I didn't know this guy had cardboard cutouts laying around.
Yeah, for a business partner.
Hey, you learn something new every day. But not only that, I got two more things I want to bring up before we go on one more break. Tampa Airport sees significant passengers drop amid economic slowdown. Now check this, guys. This happened 6 days ago, and it was posted on TBB J Newsroom. Okay, Tampa International Airport is beginning to feel the brunt of the national economic downturn as passengers pull back on travel to Tampa Bay. During the first half of fiscal year 2025, which began in October, Tampa served 12.15 million passengers. This was roughly 8.6% less than had it budgeted for, or 1.1 million fewer passengers than expected. Chris Minner, who is a chief commercial officer, told the Hillsborough County Aviation Authority Board the decline was due to the recovery from Hurricane Milton and the national macroeconomic factor slowing travel across the country. Now, and there was one more. Then there was a executive order, and it was to defund NPR and PBS.
Oh yeah.
Now,
yeah, we did hear about that.
If you haven't, for those of you listening in who have not been watching Sesame Street, well, I got to tell you,
what am I going to watch now without my PBS?
So
no more Sesame Street.
I won't know what the letter of the day is.
So check this. The president signed an executive order late Thursday to end public funding of National Public Radio and PBS to stop what he called biased and partisan news coverage. The White House said in a Friday statement that both organizations had received tens of millions of dollars in taxpayer funds each year to spread radical, woke propaganda disguised as quote-unquote news. That's tough.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a good idea to defund PBS and NPR. NPR is known for the Tiny Desk concerts. I do enjoy watching those. PBS is a big factor in Sesame Street and a lot of other great shows. And for children, so this is a turning point. I really think this administration is kind of trying to take away education in the simplest form. And I won't speak too much more on that politically, but I definitely don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if people decide that they want to keep watching Sesame Street, PBS can start running ads and support itself like every other TV channel.
But the thing is that that's the point of PBS and NPR, is that they're free broadcast stations for anyone who doesn't have cable, who doesn't have access to.
So is YouTube.
Thing. I mean, yeah, we're in a different age of time now. But
it's a dinosaur bone.
I mean, you could say that, but I
Do you got beef with PBS? What's going on?
When's the last time you were like, oh yeah, dude, PBS is coming on?
All right, but we're old heads.
Yeah,
It's
we're
clearly,
old
we're not the demographic.
we are not the demographic.
Bro, yeah. Whatever. I'm not crying.
Well, I think that it's
I
a
cried either.
it's
Come
a
on, kids.
it's a bad day for the future. I did grow up watching Sesame Street, Fraggle Rock, the other like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood,
It was Between the Lions.
and Electric Company.
Is it Between the Lions?
Between the Lions.
I remember that. Core memory unlocked. That's crazy.
Like,
Cyber Chase? Oh, I love
so
Cyber Chase.
those shows, what was the rougher? He was like, he did like a game show. He was like a cartoon dog, but it was like a real world show. Man,
I don't know.
yeah, it was. I don't know, but it was all PBS, and I don't want to see a world where the only national like free national broadcast is like propaganda, and I feel like that's where we're going.
No, I totally see where you're coming from.
NPR famously not dealing in any type of propaganda ever.
Well, those are personal opinions. The president also believes that it's woke propaganda, but I don't think Sesame Street is woke propaganda because they have an autistic puppet on their show. So I think they're just trying to be inclusive. So I definitely I feel for everyone who's working for PBS and NPR and anyone else in the government nowadays facing these big cuts from the industry and from our government. So yeah, that's
Anthony, thoughts?
I'm good. You guys need to have a good back and forth going.
Yeah, we see, the good thing about the weekly roundup though is that we always we have different opinions on different things.
We're a diverse group.
We are a diverse group, and we want to keep it like that. Even though we like just now we have differing opinions on it. That's what makes the show interesting and something that we bring to the weekly roundup.
No, exactly. It doesn't matter who you are or what you believe in. You can tune into the weekly roundup, and you can always find something that you can enjoy and relate to.
Exactly.
No, that's definitely understandable. Now, I did say I was going to go on a break real quick, but instead, I'm going to say this right away. Technically, I know right now the time is 12:53, but of course, I still have about, if I'm giving a total estimate, 11 minutes off of the tape. Now, Foot Locker is having its re-grand opening. At first, I know I said that it was going to be Saturday, but it got pushed forward, actually. So now the re-grand opening is going to be officially on Friday.
This Friday?
Yes.
Oh, mañana.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
This Friday, tomorrow. Now, I will admit, I'm not. I don't know how they would feel if I talk about what we got, but all I can tell you right now is that what you are hoping to see, you will see. From a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 9.8 out of 10 right now.
Sounds like Ice Spice will be in attendance.
No.
Sexy Red?
No.
That's why it's not a 10 out of 10.
That's fair.
Raw Wave, hometown hero.
No. All I know,
Will Doechii be there at least?
So, yeah, at
No.
least
We don't know about that one. But I will acknowledge this though, because we are expecting to see a lot of heat shoes that a lot of people have been asking for. Whether if you're talking about Kobe's, whether if you're talking about the specific Jordans that were hard to be able to get, we're talking about Asics, we're talking about a lot of New Balance that a lot of people were asking for. You're going to be seeing all these sorts of things that are going to be happening left and right. Even Foamposites, that's another one. And Foamposites are literally Nike's most expensive shoe as of right now. I'm telling you, when this re-grand opening happens first thing tomorrow, mind you, the location's at International Plaza. A lot of people saying that they might start camping there too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
So
Get your tents now.
Yeah. Any Cactus Jacks in there?
I don't know about that.
In Yeezys?
Here's the thing. When it comes to collaboration shoes, they're a lot harder to be able to see them in store. So you would only be able to find a specific location. That location be able to for collaboration shoes would be Hyde Park. So there's a sneaker resale store there, but if I'm not mistaken, they sell like all the release shoes based off of collaborations by retail price. If you're lucky, you're able to get your hands on them. Otherwise, if you're not lucky, it's a no-shot brainer.
We were speaking about WWE. Roman Reigns has still had that rumored Jordan line for the longest time. I'd love to see some Reigns Jordan.
Okay, that shoe, it's probably gonna end up going to like places like Foot Locker, Champs, stuff like that. But we don't know when exactly that's gonna happen. Like the rumors are still going, but we don't know the accuracy right now. Other than that, I'm gonna take at least a few minute break right now, and then I'm going to say my final words, and then basically after this episode of the final episode, I guess you're gonna be listening in a lot to the Weekly Roundup, because I'll admit I've watched y'all show, and so far I've seen a lot of amazing progressions.
Oh, thank you.
So let's really talk about it. We're gonna go on a break real quick. It's gonna be by a song called "If I Can't Have You" by Gianni and Kyle.